Good morning, it's Kathy. It is Friday, May 8th, 2020. I'm a CPA, a Chartered Professional Accountant in London, Ontario, Canada, and here is my update for today. So you may have noticed I have not done any videos for a while. I've really had to buckle down and focus on getting my personal tax returns done for my clients. We are quite behind in our office, probably about 2 weeks behind schedule right now, because we spent a lot of time in second half of March and through April. We had those income supports and business supports coming down from Ottawa and Ontario throughout the month, and we were very busy trying to listen to them and translate them into useful information and get that out to our clients and work with our clients one-on-one to help them utilize and obtain those income supports. So most of that, we're on the other side of that. Most of those announcements have been made. There are some very specific announcements coming out now, but I didn't think that any of them were really relevant to the people watching my videos. I've just been talking one-on-one with people. So anyway, that's why I haven't been here for a while. So we're seeing that the CERB has been rolled out, and so that's gone fairly well. We're now at the stage where the people are having issues with it. It's a very specific situation, and unfortunately they need to call into the 1-800 number to get that resolved. So that's unfortunate, but I can't really give advice on when you have these unusual situations, you really have to call that 1-800 number. And fun fact, the main 1-800 number for CRA, we accountants do not have a direct line to CRA, which it just boggles my mind. So that 1-800-959 whatever, we have to sit on hold for that and on that phone line too if we have a specific question. So I hear you when people say to me, "Oh, you don't know how long it is to sit on hold." Yeah, I do know. So we go out of our way to solve our questions other ways. But anyway, so there's that, and then the $40,000 CEBA loan that has been rolled down. I have a fair number of clients who have received that because they decreased the payroll requirement from $50,000 to $20,000. The CFIB is still working to get that lowered or removed completely. I don't know if they'll do that. Your guess is as good as mine. And then the CEWS, the 75% wage subsidy, organizations have applied for that. That is happening. And then there's the rental support, commercial rental support. That's still not rolled out, but we know what the details are of it, and it's looking like there's only going to be about a 7 to 10% uptake on that. That's what they're predicting right now, and I'm hearing that a lot. The challenge there is that the landlord has to opt in. It's not just the tenant saying that they want to participate. The landlord has to be the one to opt in, and landlords are, for the most part, saying, "No thanks, not interested, don't want to get the government involved in my affairs, and I don't want to lock in a 25% loss." So what's happening is that if you're lucky as a commercial industrial tenant, your landlord will work with you directly. If you're unlucky, the landlord will say, yeah, too bad, pay your rent. Or there's actually not a, at least in Ontario, there's not a eviction. That's not a word in the rules around commercial rent situations. They can lock the doors and seize your goods and sell your goods to get back some of the lost rent. So that's interesting. I don't know how many landlords would actually, what are they going to seize a bunch of clothing and candles and books and have a garage sale to get some of their rent back? I don't know. It's a very messy situation. I'm not trying to make light of it. It's just, so I'm laughing a lot sarcastically these days because there's so many absurd situations. Okay, so there's that, and the students, we're still waiting for, that hasn't come out. We know what the dollar amounts are, but I believe the applications are not online for that yet. And I don't think we know yet if students are allowed, how much students are allowed to work and still receive all of that. If it's going to be like the $1,000 like the CERB, we're not sure about that. Anyway, so there's that, and now it looks like we're going to have an excess of lobster. That's an interesting one that's just come out the last couple of days. So people are saying, why don't they just leave the lobster in the ocean? And that would seem on the surface to be a logical answer, but the problem is that the luxury market. So if you think of fancy restaurants and cruise ships and a lot of the Asian countries that would normally buy a lot of our lobster, that market has really collapsed. I just read something this morning that's starting to come back, but a lot of the demand for lobster, if you think of steak and lobster, surf and turf dinner, a lot of that has collapsed. But so why would the fishers, why would the fishers want to start their harvest? Well, the reason is that in the Maritimes in Canada, we have a very specific different EI program for fishers and those who work in the processing plants. And it's in recognition of the fact that with normal EI, you have to report in every couple of weeks and say, yes, I was actively looking for a job. Well, down there aren't jobs in the winter. These are they're skilled positions, very specific skilled positions. And so in order to have a vibrant operating fisheries industry in the Maritimes, we have this EI system that says you work during the harvest season, and then we recognize there's not a lot of jobs to be had, if any, down there in the winter. You get EI in the winter. So what that incents the people in that industry to do is start the harvest, start the processing right now, because they need to get their hours in and their dollars earned in this season so that they can collect EI in the winter. So that is why we're going to end up with an excess of lobster, unless the federal government comes out and says, we're going to pay you EI regardless of if you get enough hours in this summer. Messy. I do not envy the federal government for having to deal with that, but I don't know, if they keep harvesting and processing, we may see a real decrease in the price of lobster this summer. So anyway, that I just wanted to I made kind of a joke on my Facebook yesterday about Facebook and about lobster, and people didn't really get it, but that's what it's referring to, is that that industry feels that they have to operate right now in order to get their EI for the winter. Okay, so that's it. That was a bit long, just a bit of a catch up, and so May 8th, and it's snowing here. Just a little flurries. I don't think it'll accumulate to anything, but anyway, take care and have a good day, and I'll talk to you next time I have something to say. Thanks.